Here we are, a Tuesday in St. Louis, Missouri, and I am joined by Luke from the STRUTS. Luke, how are you, man? Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. How's it going?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be back in your presence again.
Well, we have long, the station has been a long supporter of the band. I mean, you guys, it's been fun to kind of watch you guys grow as a band. And this new record, Strange Days, is absolutely fantastic. And I want to kind of hear a bit, Luke, of the backstory behind it, because from what I understand, you had a whole nother record ready to roll, then quarantine happened, and you guys made use of your time. Can you talk to us about that a bit?
Yeah, that's basically what happened in short. Towards the end of 2019, myself and Adam were both writing in LA and went home quickly for Christmas, came back out, actually made an official move to LA in very early January, and carried on just as business as usual. Then COVID started cancelling everything. So we had no tours, we had no shows, everything was completely up in the air. So we decided, it was suggested to us, why don't we go into a studio and initially record maybe 3 or 4 songs just for the fans, forget everything else. And we had 10 days to do so. And I think we were just too excited because we walked out with an entire record, which was completely by accident.
That's a great accident. That's a very fortunate accident. Did you guys just get on a writing spree or an idea spree? Is that just kind of how that happens?
Essentially, yes. It was the perfect marriage between the excitement within the group and the manager, John, and a good solid couple of weeks leading up to it. I was writing tons and tons of lyrics and titles and concepts, melodies. Adam was banking loads of riffs. So what happened was we would just approach a guitar riff, which would then turn into a jam, which would then turn into something interesting. And then I would just tend to scroll through what I had lyrically and then start top lining. And yeah, we would just spend like 3 hours, 4 hours on an idea. And then once we had a good take, it was like, well, what do we do now? Let's do something a bit different. And the album was just made in these cool little steps.
And it sounds like, and what's so crazy to me in listening to that record, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do, but it's a really fun record for being written out of a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some really great choruses on there, some really huge songs. Like, it sounds like sort of the opposite record that in my mind I would think that you would make when there's a pandemic going on. But there's just a great rock and roll feel to the record. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, even the title track, Strange Days, I thought it was important to have a lyric which was a little bit of a social commentary, but simultaneously, I didn't want it to be a negative record, lyrically anyway. I wanted it was great that it ended up having a hopeful message, one that people could sort of like stop listening and smile about, and hopefully look at the future more optimistic.
Absolutely. And you have got guest stars aplenty on this thing. The record leads off with a Robbie Williams song that is amazing. It's a great table setter. You've got Albert Hammond on the current single that we're playing, another bit of showmanship. You have got Tom Morello, and the best, you have Phil and Joe from Def Leppard. And if I'm not mistaken, is it Joe that calls himself King of the Leopards, which I think is the greatest thing that I've ever heard anyone call themselves?
It's true. I mean, I can't thank everyone who was involved in this album enough, because I mean, typically what would happen with all of the songs that have the features on, we would have made them and my vocals would have been done and the band has chosen the best bits of like each take and we've kind of fused it all together. And then we just took them as far as we could go. And then with I Hate How Much I Want You, for instance, with Joe and Phil from Def Leppard, they then got a hold of the tracks and then just kind of did what they wanted and went absolutely crazy. And whenever someone got onto a song, it just elevated the idea even more. So it becomes this really rich, eclectic body of work, which I think makes for a really exciting album.
Absolutely. So when you're like, okay, when you're kind of thinking about who you want to have on the record, so like, I don't know if I have the personality to like ask Tom Morello, hey man, you want to be on my record? Or how is that process? And do you ever get in your head like about it? Like, should I really ask this guy? Or you're like, what the hell not? Why not? I know these guys. They're my friends. What's it going to hurt? Kind of, how do you go about that? Because I'm sure that that's not as easy as we would think it would be.
Well, truth be told, I mean, it's all a bit of a blur because I was so kind of wasted throughout most of it. In all honesty, which you know I've tidied up and I cleaned up now, but yeah, I don't really remember an awful lot of those conversations. But you know, of course, that it helps that most of the people that I ended up speaking to, we'd met before, spent time with them. Some of them had even got on stage. And in fact, it was only Robbie. Robbie was probably the newest relationship to have formed. And that was probably about a couple of weeks before going into the Strange Days session. But that was amazing. And it was so great that they were all so gracious with their time.
Yeah, I read about that hookup with Robbie Williams where like you guys legitimately just DM'd over Instagram after you had done a session. And man, and I'm telling you, and I'm not, you know, I don't know a lot of Robbie Williams' work as a pop singer, but I'm telling you, as far as starting a record, Luke, that's an amazing song to like set the stage for the whole record. Like it is very, very strong. Well, so now what's going to happen? You know, so then I guess you hang on to the record that you already recorded and put that out at a later date, or have you even gotten that far in that thinking?
Well, a lot of the songs that we were working on before Strange Days happened, they were still kind of in their demo format, really strong, but they were still quote demos or very good sounding demos. So I think we do need to carve out some time at some point to get everyone on it and sonically all bring them up to the standard that everyone's kind of used to. But good news is we've got some really, really great songs that we're kind of just sat on. Well, I don't want to use the word sat on, but they're mulling over. They're sort of just sat there aging like a very fine wine. And
right. You know, or some stage of percolation. You know what I mean? It's just building its way back up there. Well, Luke, listen, and I said this on the air today. I'll say it again. This record is fantastic. If you need a good rock record to really just enjoy, man, this is a really tremendous one. And the track with the Def Leppard guys is absolutely one of my favorites on the record. And it might be my favorite song that you guys have done so far. And that says a lot. You know, there has just been a lot. So I look forward to seeing what the future holds. And so you guys are in a holding pattern, right? Like, I mean, you're just hanging out in England until you can figure out when you're going to be able to work again. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we're all remaining really productive and joyous and just trying to kind of keep ourselves busy. Yeah. I mean, you know, the Struts aren't exactly a group of individuals that are going to sit still for very long. And I can tell you now, as soon as there's any way for us to play live, we'll be the first band to do it, no doubt.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, the last few weeks, man, and I've been doing pretty well in the pandemic, like as far as like, you know, not missing out on things. But man, the last few weeks, I have just like felt the draw of the live show more than I have, like, you know, and I've done some of these streaming shows, you know, and they're cool, but it's just not the same. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see my man Luke on stage sweating right near me. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I need.
You want to be in the wet zone. That's what you're saying.
There you go. Hey, Luke, thank you very much for your time. We always appreciate it. And again, the new Struts album, Strange Days, is out now. And I thank you so much for your time, Luke, and look forward to when we get to see you in person again.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for all of your support. Can't wait.
No problem. Take care, man. See you later.
You too. Bye.